So hi guys, welcome to PR Software Training Institute. So today I'll be discussing about a GUI login page form. Okay, that is our project. So what we need to do is we need to create a login window. So where we need to enter our username and password. So let's try to create that. Let's have a look of our project which we are going to create first. So this is our page which we need to create. So the sign in which we need to enter our username, password, and we need to press on sign in. Okay. So let's try to create a username over here. So by default username I have entered is PR software. And the password by default I have set is PR softwares. Okay. So once now press on sign in. So you can see if it is validating what it is saying success and it is saying welcome to PR software. Okay. Suppose if you are entering any other password, different password, and if you are trying to sign in, it will show not a valid. So this is the project which we are going to create in today's class. Okay. So let's create a project first. Yeah. So in this new Python file. So first what we need to do is first we need to import our Tkinter module. So I'll be writing from Tkinter import star and next I'll take a variable as root. Root is equals to T capital K function, means this is the starting of a GUI window, and next I'll be writing root dot main loop. So this main loop is what? It is the ending of a GUI window. So now once run this code, your GUI window will be created in a small size. So now what is our next requirement is, my next requirement, I wanted to change the background color. And next I wanted to change the size of the GUI window. And if you're clicking on this, your window is able to resize, right? That resize also I don't want to give. Predefinedly I want to give a fixed size of a GUI window. So let's try to make it happen. So here what we need to do is root dot title. So I wanted to change the title name. So I'm changing a title name to login form. So the title I have changed first. Next, what we need to do is coloring we need to change. So I'll write root dot config. So in this config, background color. So for this background color, I want it in a light green. So I'm using a HTML color codes combination will be there, right? That color code I'm using, that color code is 68 D9E1 is a color which I'm setting, that is a light green. And next, I wanted to set a size of a GUI window. So I'll go with root dot geometry. So in this geometry, I need to set a size. So the size which I wanted to set is 925 x 500 plus 300 plus 200. This is the size of my GUI window. And also I don't want the GUI window to be resized, right? So I'm going root dot resizable equals to false. So this one is for height, width, this one is for height. So now what will happen, both width and height will not be able to manipulate it now. So now once run the server and check this. Yeah. So here you can see the title got changed to login form and color has been changed to light green and window size is fixed and you are not able to resize the GUI window. Okay. So now let's try to add an image into this particular thing. I have shown the image we are having on the left hand side of a GUI window. First, let's try to add an image. So for that, I'm using a variable called image. So to add an image, you need to use a tag called photo image. So in that, file is equals to, what you need to do is you need to mention your image name. But here, before mentioning your image, what you need to do is that particular image, you need to take it into your project, right? So first we'll go to the image location and we'll try to get that image. Copy the image and paste that particular image in your project directory so that directly you can access it. Paste it. The image name it is showing s1.png. Directly I'm saving the same image. If you want, you can modify it. So here s1.png is the image which I represent. Next, label. So I wanted to set the size of the image and I wanted to represent it in a GUI window, right? So whatever the variable I have taken for creating the window, that variable comma image is equals to whatever the tag you have taken, whatever the variable you have taken for storing the image, we need to represent that. That is what img to store that the particular image. Next, background color. The background color I want same lightish green. So same hashtag I'll use. That is 68 D9 E1 is a color which I'm using. And Next, what you need to do is you need to place the particular image, right? So I'm going with directly dot place. X-axis equals to 130, I'm mentioning it as. And y-axis also same, 130 I'll mention. Okay. So once let's have a look at this particular image, how it is represented once. Yeah. So here you can see the image has been represented. Now what you need to do is just you need to create a username and password thing. So that I wanted to create using a frames. So first what I'll do is first I'll create a frame so that I can introduce that frame as a variable I'm taking in that frame. So frame where I need to represent this in a GUI window. So the root, width I need to set. So width I will go with 450 and height also I need to set. Height also I'm taking same 450 and background color for this also I wanted to give it as a same. So that is 68D9E1 is a background color which I wanted to mention for this. So mention that in a quotation marks so that that hashtag will be able to access. Okay. So this is about a frame and that frame we need to place it, right? So for placing, I'll write frame dot place. X-axis and y-axis manually we need to mention. So I want where this image frame should be placed. I want exactly beside the image I want this frame to be placed. So the x-axis I'm going with is 480, comma, y-axis I'm going with 70. Okay. So there is a frame placed over here. So now in this frame, I wanted to present a heading. So what I will do, I'll write here a variable heading is equals to label, because if you want to represent any content on this GUI window, label is option. So where this thing should be present inside a frame, right? So whatever the variable you have taken for creating the frame, that variable you need to mention, comma, the text. The text I wanted to present it as sign in is the text which I wanted to present. Next. FG is the text color which I want. I want the text color to be present in red color and background color same again. So hashtag 68D9E1 is a color which I am using for it. Okay. And next what we required, font we required. So I'm going with font equals to, in a tuple format we need to write a font. Italic, I want it to be a italic. The size of the text 23 and that italic also should be in a bold I am saying. So I'll be writing like this. Okay. And this particular heading also, unless and until I place it will not be working on a GUI window, right? So let's try to place it. So heading dot place. In this I'll mention x-axis is equals to 100, comma, y-axis is equals to 5. According to the frame we are taking the sizes. Now once run this and check sign in is placed or not. Yeah, sign in is placed perfectly. So now what we need to do is now we need to create username and password. Okay. So for that, I'm taking a predefined some variable with the name user. In this user, I'll make it as entry. Directly I'm going with the entry box itself. Entry, I wanted to place it in a frame and width I wanted to set 25 and foreground color means the text color should be black I'm saying. And next, border. So here, what is the use of border? Black after this border. So what is the use of border means, I don't want any bordering to that entry box, okay? So if you don't want any bordering to that entry box, what you need to do is simply you need to write border equals to 0. Then no border will be created for that. And next, background color for this, I want same color. So again, I'll go with the hashtag 68. D9E1 is a color which I am using. Okay. So font I required. So font is equals to same in a tuple format. Italic is a font which I required and this content should be lesser, right? So I'm writing in a 11 size. Okay. And next I wanted to place this particular thing. So I will write the user dot place. So in this place function, according to the frame, we need to give the x and y axis. So x axis I am mentioning it as 30 and y axis I am mentioning it as 80. Okay. So now once run this, you'll be able to get this window. Yeah. But it is not visible, right? Unless and until you place any text on it, it will not be visible. So what we need to do is to make that data available because borders we have not mentioned. So that data is not able to represent. So to make it available, I will be writing like this, user dot insert text format 0 is the starting position, and the text I wanted to represent, that is a 0 indexing, in that I wanted to mention a string. So the string which I wanted to mention is user name. Okay, so now if you run this, you will see in 0th position it will enter your username. Okay, so you'll be able to enter your username over there. So in that you require a heading. So what we'll do is we'll just write there F capital frame. In that I'm mentioning what is this frame as a variable again. So the width I'll set, width is equals to 295 some width I'm setting. Next height, so height is equals to some 2. Background color I'll mention it as black, and this particular thing I need to place, so I'll write place. X-axis is equals to some 25 and y-axis is equals to 107 is the thing which I'm placing. Okay, so this particular things you will be able to do it. Now you can run this code, and once check this, you will get to an underline box over there. Yeah, so this underline box, how we are getting, we are just writing there frame, one more frame we are creating, and the width I'm setting 25, means the line widthness, and height how much you want, that we are setting it off. Okay, so yes, sorry, not that line, this line. So the width 295 and height, this we need to match. Okay, so then you will be getting a username. So the same code I required for a password also. So same thing I'm copying and I'm pasting in the next line, because for the password also same thing we required. Instead of user here, take any other variable one. So I'm taking a variable as code. Here also same code I'll change. Here entry frame width same 25 black, border everything will be same. Just we need to change x-axis is similar, y-axis we need to change. Y-axis we need to change it from 150, because in the next line we require, right? So that's why. And instead of username, just write their password. Okay, so this is about a password thing. And next framework is there. Frame also same thing will change, but placing we need to change it off. X-axis will be same, y-axis only we need to change it to 177. So this is not a predefined sizes. We can change the sizes according to your GUI window sizes. Okay, so once check this. Okay, sorry, it is replacing over there. So password we need to change it. The bordering I need to change. Code.place, user.insert I have used here. Yeah, so your code.place we need to do, sorry. Because same thing I have copied, right? Now you did password also you are able to get. So now what we required is a button we required, so that we can validate the details. Okay, so let's try to create a button. So for that I am taking a variable called button. So this particular button I wanted to introduce into a frame. So I'm going with the frame, comma, width of that particular button I want it as 39, and pad y 7 meters, and the text which I wanted to represent is, sorry, text is equals to sign in is a requirement of that particular button. Okay, sign in is a button name which I am mentioning. Next, the background color, everything I need to change. So BJ I'm going with orange color. And the foreground color means the text which it need to present. That foreground color I am changing it to black. Next, borders I don't want for that also. So border equals to 0, I am making it off. And I need to place this particular thing. So I'll write dot place. X-axis is equals to 35 and y-axis is equals to 204 is the thing which I am mentioning. Okay. Oh, sorry, here I have not mentioned it now. Okay. So x is equals to, 35 and y-axis is equals to 204. And I wanted to give it as a name. Once, let's run this. So you can see you are getting a sign in button. Okay. So now what is our requirement is, down we need to create one more thing, that is for a message representation. Means if you're not having an account, try to sign up will be there, right? That button let's try to create, then we'll try to validate the details. So to create that, I'm using here one more variable, that is label as a variable I'm using. Label is equals to represent the data, L capital label function. So where I need to represent that also I wanted to represent in a frame itself. So in that, the text which I wanted to write is, don't have account, question marks. Okay. So if you don't have an account is a message which I wanted to print over there. So for that, foreground color I required is black, means the text I wanted to represent in a black color. And background for this also we need to set, right? So background for this also same, green color itself, that is 68D9E1 is a background color which I'm setting. And the font size we need to change. So font is equals to, I wanted to change the font to italic. And the size I want it in a smaller letters, so I'm going with the size dot 9. And this particular thing we need to place also, right? So I'm going with the same label dot place. So in that I need to mention a x and y axis according to my frames. So x axis I'm mentioning it as 75 and y axis I will mention it as 270. Okay. So now you can see this text will be placed in your things. Once run this. Yeah, don't have an account, it is waiting. So under this, what you need to do is, we need to create a button with the name called register. Okay. So let's try to create that first. Sign in as a variable I'm taking, sign in one as a variable I'm taking, that is equals to B capital button. So this button I wanted to represent in a frame. So I'll be writing frame. The width of that particular button, I wanted to be 6, and the text which I wanted to represent on that button is sign up is a button name which I wanted to represent. And I don't want borders for this also. So I'm writing border is equals to 0, and background color, same, light green we need to mention. So same hashtag, that is 68D9E1 is a color of light green that I am mentioning. And if you want to change your cursor positions, then you can use this cursor variable also, that is predefined. Cursor is equals to hand to. Means like normally what will happen, first let's try without cursor, then you'll get an idea how this cursor will be working. And FG, foreground color, let's change it to red color. Okay, foreground color I'm changing to red. Now let's try to place this particular thing also. So where this particular thing I wanted to place this particular thing under the text which I have represented, right? So I'm going with sign in dot place. So in that I need to mention x-axis is equals to 250 and I'm mentioning x-axis according to the frame, and y-axis is equals to 270 I'm mentioning. Okay. So now once run this. Yeah. So here if you're going to sign in, is your cursor changing now? No, right? But I want that cursor to be changed. So if you want that particular cursor to be changed, what you need to do is you need to go with the cursor position. That is cursor as a variable. Cursor is equals to, you need to represent a predefined entities are there. In that I am taking hand to. So now what will happen is whenever I am taking my cursor to that particular stage, it will change its position. See, it is coming into a hand. Okay. So now this is about a normal registration or login form. So now what we need to do is now we need to validate the detail which we are entering over here. Means the username and password we need to validate. Okay. So first let's see which is the box we are using for entering username. The box which we are using for entering username is user, and for password we are using code, right? So let's take these two details and let's try to validate. Say I'm creating one function, def valid is a function which I'm creating. Okay. So in this function, first I need to get the both details, right? So that I can validate them. So first I'll take Z and I will get a username first. So I'll write user.get function, which will get me the username which we are entering in that particular box. L is equals to, what I need to do is I need to write code.get. So what this will do, whatever the password I'm entering into that particular box, it is getting and it will be storing in a L variable. Okay. So next I need to validate the details. So here I'll use a if condition. If Z is what? Username. If the username, if it is matching with, I'll set a name as PR software. Username as PR software. I am using AND operator because in validation, both the conditions should be satisfied, right? If Z double equals to PR softwares and L double equals to PR softwares. Means both username and password, I'm setting it as same. If both are matching, then what it need to do is, it need to enter the block and it need to display as a message. So here, I'll import a message box. See, from Tkinter, import message box. Tkinter, import message box as aliasing I'm using here. MSG I'm importing, means a shortcut way. So in this, I will write msg dot show info, because I wanted to show it as an information, that is success as a message of a window, and I want here the message to be displayed. Okay, that is a title normally. Here is a message which I wanted to display. That is welcome to PR softwares. Is a message which I wanted to display if the details are validating. Or else it need to directly go to the else part. In else part, I required a message showing that message dot show error, because it will get into my, the title I am getting it as error. I am setting the title, and next the message I will set it as login not success is a message which I am setting. Okay. So the same thing what you need to do is, for a button we need to give a command, right? So here is a button which I have created. So for this button, I'll give you command is equals to, I need to direct to that particular name, right? Function. So what is the function name I used? Valid. So I need to just mention there the function name. Now your particular button will be able to work. So just click on this login now. Enter a username. PR softwares. So same, enter the password. PR softwares. Click on sign in. So here you can see success, welcome to PR software. Suppose if you are entering any long password, so directly it will come into Maxi. Error saying that what? Login not success. So this is about our project creation of our login form. So in the next video, I will be explaining you about a sign up. Means the registration page will be there. How to create register your details, that I will be explaining in a next video. Okay. So bye guys.